So basically, Rogar, the two of you spent a romantic day on the ice by yourself. And the reason you two went off was because the tribe of Goliath that you were making your way to were very known to be dragon haters. And in fact, the outside of their cave as you were approaching, you saw the skeleton of a white dragon. So you thought it'd be smart to take Suzanne and just look around and see what was around. But yeah, just wondering, what were you two up to for the whole day while everyone else was playing goat ball and feasting?
Well, I don't think Rorgar's ever been comfortable riding Suzanne. Um, I know I he had done that in the previous fight we had, um, but I think he's probably taken the opportunity away from everyone else to maybe train with Suzanne and get used to the idea of riding a dragon, which seems strange to him.
And she doesn't actually have a saddle, does she?
No.
Interesting. Well, I'd say that the two of you, you spend the day training, and you've noticed that Suzanne, who you remember when she was first born, she was very small and she's grown proportionally faster and faster as time has gone by. She's hit this point ever since you were able to communicate with her telepathically and she became like your paladin steed, where she's slowed down her growth a bit, but she still is larger than she was, a few days ago. And her scales have taken on that silverish gleam. So she's still a white dragon, obviously, but from far away, she almost shines like she's metallic. Yeah, but the two of you through your training, she responds a lot better now that you two can communicate, and you feel that maybe if her growth continues in a few weeks, she might actually be strong enough to bear a rider to actually fly. But right now, she's stuck to being on the ground.
Very good, Suzanne. You are growing quite quickly. I'm very proud.
She looks around and she says, I I am hungry.
Well, I have never seen you hunt before, so maybe you could show me how you search for food.
And she looks back in the direction where the party went to the Goliath encampment, and she says, there are delicious smells there. Can we go over there and eat some of them?"
I believe it is a bit too dangerous for us there.
Throughout the day, Suzanne, she escapes from you a little bit to go hunting, and at one point she brings back the carcass of something that she's caught. And it's hard to tell what it was when she caught it. It's actually probably the size of an elk, so it was very large, most likely. It's definitely bigger than you, Wargar. But she brought some of it back, perhaps to share. But by the time she gets it to you, it's just a bloody mess. It has no head, doesn't really have any legs left. She might have chewed them off.
Ah, thank you, Suzanne, but my stomach from traveling is a little sore. I will stick to rations for now.
The way that she eats is how she's eaten ever since she was first hatched, and that is she takes her food, she drops it down, and she breathes her cold breath on it and freezes it as into like a frozen popsicle basically, and then that's how she eats it. She prefers it cold, and that's what she does to the remainder of this whatever it is she's caught. And she actually, after she's done with that, she makes herself a bed in the snow and plops down and starts to sleep. But yeah, worker, that leaves you for the afternoon, kind of all on your own. We'll make you take one of your rations though, if you're going to eat that.
Yeah, sure.
But it's a pretty quiet night on the ice. It's a very clear very clear evening, so you can actually see up and see some stars. But it's very quiet. You don't really hear much. And as you doze off to sleep, you can hear Suzanne snoring beside you. And apologies, this is one of those ginormous maps that we had before. But you all have been able to take a long rest, all of you, including Suzanne and Rogar. So you know, recover any hit points or spell slots or anything like that. But Elijah, I'm putting you out in front of the Goliath encampment, kind of in the morning. I imagine you probably walk out as the sun is starting to rise to see if you can catch some sunlight, which you haven't really caught in a while. But I think we were kind of establishing that as sort of a morning routine for you. But as you walk out, you see some of the Goliaths waking up. You see Atlas. He's getting ready to go on his guard patrol. But you make your way out of the cave, perhaps very full from the big feast that the whole tribe had in the party's honor. And you make your way over to the goat ball court.
I think I am going to probably look out and see if there is. I'm sure there is some light visible, but I don't know whether it's like overcast or what the weather is like up here. But I think I just want to get my bearings and maybe see if I can't see the sun for a little bit.
And you're kind of peering off to the horizon to see if you can catch some sun rays. And then beside you, off, a few feet away, sitting on one of the goat ball pillars. So remember, the goat ball pillars range from just a few feet off the ground to 5 or 6 feet off the ground. But on one of the like middle range, say maybe only 3 or 4 feet off the ground, is seated someone, and it catches your attention as he starts to speak, and his voice is very cold and smooth, and he says, "So, I'm very surprised you're actually going after this book."
Do I recognize him? Oh, okay. Now I can see on the map.
Sorry, I put him on the wrong layer. Yeah, seated beside you, the one speaking to you is Sefik, the gentleman that you all had an encounter with earlier. And he's just
I'm
sitting
gonna,
casually on the pillar.
yeah, I'm gonna stay where I am and not necessarily get closer to him because he was not friendly the last time we met. And I'll just say, I had no idea that you were following us.
And Sefik is wearing pretty much exactly what he was wearing before the last time that you saw him. And he's not wearing furs or jackets or anything like that everyone else is, including you, Elijah, but he's wearing a sleeveless vest, in fact, showing his very pale, bluish, almost bluish skin. He looks human, but his skin is way too pale for him to be someone that human and is alive. And his eyes have a light blue, almost glow to them. But this weather doesn't seem to bother him at all. And in fact, he looks over to you and he says, "Of course, I've been following you for quite some time."
Are you looking to interfere with anything that we're doing?
Well, of course, eventually I will kill you, as I promised.
And there's a reason why you haven't done so already. If you seem to be following us, there's no reason to not go through with what you're intending to do
The,
unless you're enjoying.
the chase is interesting, and while there were several opportunities where I could have easily just stabbed you in your sleep, I find the idea of this book interesting. You were told that the book will allow you to enter the island of the Frost Maiden undetected. That's intriguing.
Is that something that you're interested in doing?
And as he's
And if
saying that, he
so,
holds
what
out his
purpose?
hand and one finger, and a spike of ice starts to slowly appear on the tip of his finger, and it's upside down, so like the pointy part is it's so sharp too you can't even really see the point, but it's like barely balanced off of the tip of his finger. And he says, "It's interesting. I had often thought about meeting our mother, but now that the opportunity is actually presenting itself, I find I can't think of anything else."
Well, I certainly don't intend to lead you there, but I suppose if you are following us, uh, keep your distance.
it'll be interesting to see how your party fares on the glacier. And there are many things on it that will give your group troubles. No, I think for now I'll just take a step back and see what happens. However, there is one on the glacier that is also interesting. The queen of the tiger tribe is one of our siblings, also a child of Oril.
I will say I don't know too much about what you're speaking about.
Indeed, you tend to stumble face first into any problem and then deal with it afterwards. It'll be interesting to see if you cross her path, which one of you will survive. But if you could do me a favor, if you kill her, I feel much more comfortable that I could handle you myself.
Well, I won't say that I am willing at this time to kill anyone, no matter what terrible things they have done.
And that's exactly what I'm counting on.
Is there anything else that you need from me, or did you just come here to gloat about following us?
He said, No, I just thought it might be useful for you to know that I could have killed you at any time, and I still can. But, of course, sister, good luck. And as he says that, you look at him, and there's like a brief bit of wind that blows in, and he disappears into like a small cloud of blue.
I think I'm going to probably rather quickly make my way back over to where the rest of the group is. And I think when I get there, I'm going to fill them in on what I saw at least.
So, Guardian and Virion, remember, it's up to you what you all did, but there was a feast thrown in your honor. Of course, Guardian, that doesn't mean much to you, but they insisted that you carry around the ceremonial goat ball as the goat ball victor.
He would have just held it above his head the whole time, watching everyone.
Viren will just be drinking and shouting goat ball very near the ear of Guardian the entire time.
And it might have been a bit annoying, but I imagine you were all challenged to all sorts of competition or all sorts of games, drinking games, dancing games, anything kind of game you could think of. You'd all been challenged during the evening too.
Yeah, probably anything strength-based Guardian taking part in.
But as you all exit the cave, heading outside towards in the morning, you see Laja walking from the goat ball court, looking a little upset.
Guardian just
What?
looks at Elijah.
Laja, did you lose a game of goat ball? You look very unhappy.
Not exactly. Do you all remember uh we ran into that man earlier? He said he was some sort of sibling of mine and then tried to kill us.
What was his name? Shitheel? Right?
Uh Something like that. I think it was actually Suffolk, but that might be a better name. It appears he's been following us most of this time, if not all of this time. And he came
Sounds
here
like a
to
creep.
gloat this morning.
That
He
he's
just
a creeper?
I mean, honestly, I don't know, but I do know that he's interested in this book that we're seeking out.
Oh, we gonna kill him?
For now, it seems he will largely be keeping his distance until, and she's just gonna give like a look of like not necessarily um really taking too much stock in it, just like until he decides to, you quote, kill me. Um, he
You can
threatened
try.
me again, but he's interested in this book and told me that this queen that of the tiger tribe that we may run into also has some sort of connection here. I honestly I don't know too much about what is going on exactly.
Didn't we know someone that was from here a while back?
I think so. I don't know if it is necessarily um, the same tribe or the same people.
I'm
We
going
can
to make sure
definitely
my
take a
hammer
look
is
at it.
fine for fighting.
I think that's a good idea.
Mhm.
I also need a new hunting knife. Apparently, I lost my last one.
In any case, do you think we should get going and meet up with Rorgar?
Have we actually seen him? Is he still alive? Spent the night outside.
I can get in contact with him whenever we decide to leave.
Oh, weren't you going to send a message to that shitty town we just left? I forgot what the
Was I
message was about.
supposed to?
I guess it's not important.
Oh, I know it was Bryn Shander, but I don't know if Laja remembers about wanting to send a message because yesterday I ran out of third level spell slots and it might have just been like I slept on it and it's like just totally left my mind. That's how I'm playing it right now, at least.
Yesterday's problems. Lasha's got way more to worry about today.
Laja is very distracted by what just happened and wants to get on the road.
Nope, they're back.
And a moment later, coming out of the cave is Atlas. And Atlas has got on his bag a whole bunch of climbing equipment. And you've all learned that there is never another mood for Atlas. He's always overjoyed and carries the smile that he's always got on his face as he walks over to you all and he says, good morning, friends. Are you all ready to tackle the glacier? Let's get started on our adventure. And he slaps you on the shoulder, Guardian.
We do have another friend that we will be meeting up with, if that is okay. He spent the night outside um, with uh, one of our beasts, I suppose.
Oh, he didn't have to do that. He must be ugly, uglier than him. And he points to your guardian, kind of laughing.
Virian's gonna do like the cut it out kind of thing to Atlas.
So out of character, Brad, you were absolutely right. Kapanook is actually from this tribe, but he never came up, so we didn't mention him. But if anyone had mentioned him, it would have been a thing that people would have remembered this guy. But yeah, he's just a Goliath. Otherwise, he wandered off and had his brains eaten.
Good.
So I think I'm going to say, as we are going out, I will use sending and contact Rorgar and let him know where we want to meet up at least. I don't think we have to go into the whole let's figure out exactly how many words this is. Can we gloss over it this once?
Yeah, I think we can do that. So basically, you pick up Rogar, very close by Elijah, and you send the message on where you want to meet up. not very far from the cave. And as all of you are setting out, Bolin, she's got her axe beak behind her, and she looks very weary, very tired. And she says, I'm just ready to get this over with. And Ollie flies out of the cave and lands on your shoulder, Guardian. She kind of tears at the leaves and stuff that are growing on your shoulder and buries her head into a few places. And from what you can tell, she's probably sleeping.
I'm back. Sorry, my cat had.
Valin, did you sleep okay? You don't look too well today.
And she says, yes, I did. Thank you for asking. The problem is this cold. It feels like it's colder the further north we go.
Hopefully we'll be able to get all of this winter business dealt with. And maybe there'll be better weather around here soon.
She says, yes, I'm ready to be done with this whole business with the Frost Maiden.
How was your time in the town? What did I miss? Hopefully there were no fun antics that I would have enjoyed.
Actually, let's put all of you together. So, after just a few moments of traveling past the Goliath tribe's cave entrance, you do manage to catch up with Rorgar and Suzanne. But this does cause a bit of a problem as I guess it's the five of you come around maybe a bend, and Rorgar is standing there with a thin layer of snow on his armor. And there's a mound behind him, and that mound of snow is disturbed, and out pokes Suzanne's head. And as that happens, Atlas draws his weapon and he says, friends, behind me, there's a dragon.
Oh no, don't worry, friend. I am a dragonborn. I am not dragon.
And off to the side, Villain says, hey, your idiot Goliath's about to be killed by the dragon.
Suzanne, please, not here right now. Please back off until we have a chance to explain. And whether or not she listens to that, probably not.
Yeah, Rorgar will try to communicate that at least right now, no violence is necessary.
So the problem seems to be more of Atlas. So as Suzanne rises out of the snow, she spreads her wings over you, Rorgar, but sort of holds her place. But Atlas is preparing his weapon for a charge.
Virigan's gonna run over and try and pull down Atlas's arms and try to explain, Atlas, they're friends, it's okay. That's our beast that we were talking about.
That is a dragon. A white dragon. They
Yeah,
are monsters.
She's pretty cool.
I don't know that I'm very comfortable being around a white dragon. I've only ever seen vicious ones that are only fit to be slain. You've managed to train this one?
Train is a subjective term. We've come to an agreement not to be awful to each other. She's just a big puppy dog at this point.
I see. I must confess I didn't bring enough rations to feed your puppy dog. I imagine she can fend for herself.
That is something she has figured out on her own. I think we'll be okay with what we have.
I believe Suzanne is the only one among us that has successfully caught a knucklehead trout.
I don't know if that's as impressive as we want it to sound. I know that many people in the 10 towns have also been as successful at that. But she does do well on her own.
But Atlas, he lowers his axe after hearing all of you speak, and also Suzanne not attacking him. And he says, I don't know if I'll ever turn my back on that dragon, but if you say it's tamed, I will trust you for now.
Suzanne would not hurt a fly.
And it's probably about that time when you say she wouldn't hurt a fly, where Suzanne stirs and you can see the carcass and skeletal remains of the elk that she was working on last night.
I meant, yes, not the fly, but would definitely hurt that thing, but not the fly.
Yeah, flies are safe.
It's probably better to say she wouldn't hurt a person.
Evelyn sort of looks at all of you and rolls her eyes and kicks the side of her axe beak that she's riding and kind of heads off. And Atlas, he kind of waits for all of you to start moving. He doesn't want to necessarily be in the front. He wants to keep Suzanne in view.
I think that's fair, so I will go up where Valen is. And I don't know if she's leading or if I need to lead. Either works.
But as you all start to move out, Atlas walks over, I guess to you, Virian, who's closest, and he says, friend, your elder, points to Valen, is going to have a very difficult time on the glacier.
Yeah. It might be rough, but it'll be worth any trouble we'll run into. Valen's a solid person, and she can hold her own.
It's very likely the ice will claim her and she will die on the glacier.
I guess if that happens, we'll have to just cross that bridge when we get there. But she's a great resource to us right now, so I think we have to go on with her, and if anything does happen, we'll have to figure it out as we go.
If she does die on the snow, we could use her as an offering to placate the tiger tribe.
Okay, I mean, that's an idea. Let's hope for the best, and she doesn't die or anything. But I like that you're thinking a couple steps ahead, anyways.
And he kind of laughs and he says, that's a joke, my friend. Of course we won't feed her to the tiger tribe.
Okay, but if we do need to, like, waste not, want not, sort of thing, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right.
He kind of points out the direction that you all should go. And imagine the way it's working is probably Guardian in front. So you're all using Guardian speed. Guardian as you kick your way through the front. Sort of like a self-driven snowplow, I guess, with everyone following behind you.
Yes, that is. Choo choo.
Yeah, and that's pretty much through the day. It's kind of a montage of all of you traveling through the snow, and you do notice as you're getting further and further north, it does feel colder. Like Valen was right. It does feel as the temperature is dropping as you move further and further away from the 10 towns. This doesn't seem to bother Suzanne at all. In fact, this is kind of the climate that Suzanne is, she's happiest in. And as you're all walking, she's typically flying over you, sort of gliding and doing almost like playful maneuvers in the air, having no problem at all. But about halfway through the day, Varian, if you could give me a survival check, please. What you've noticed on the horizon, and as it gets past midday and darker, it becomes less and less visible. But with your elf vision, you can see in the distance, it looks sort of like a grayish glow on the horizon. And as you move closer and closer, you can see that it's basically a wall of ice. I'd say probably late afternoon, of course it's getting dark, is when you all finally approach the wall of ice that I was describing. So what we're looking at here, if it's not entirely visible, is actually a side view. This is not a top view of the glacier. But as you make your way to it, the glacier you can see is not like a hill. It's basically a wall of ice that extends about 70 feet up. And Varian, with your check, you were able to direct the party towards what looked like the shortest part of the glacier. Perhaps the other parts of it get even taller, but you found what's probably one of the most narrow spots of the glacier, but you have to go up.
All right. Anyone ever take any rock climbing classes or anything like that? Has anyone got any experience with glacier climbing? Atlas, I assume that you have done this once or twice before.
Atlas laughs and he starts taking off the gear that he's been carrying, and he drops it down, and you see it's mostly climbing gear where he has like spikes and hammers, and he's got crampons to put on your boots. And he's kind of laughing and he says, "Well, my friend, the only trick is don't fall."
Solid advice. Viren will go over to Atlas and start getting geared up with the crampons on.
And from your shoulder, Guardian, Ollie raises her head up and she looks around and she looks at the glacier and back to you and she says, "There's no way the old lady's getting up that, you know."
I can strap her to my back and I'll climb.
"Yeah, you should do that. Make sure you don't fall, because if she dies, I think I'm kind of kaput too."
And he'll go over to Alice and get geared up.
Yeah, basically he helps all of you secure the crampons, which are really just spikes that attach to the bottom of your boots to help you catch into the ice. But he shows you all a procedure of basically using a spike to start crawling forward, and then he has another spike you can hammer in and a small rope attached to you. Even through that, to the technique he's showing you, it's very slow and deliberate, and you can tell it's going to be a heck of a climb.
I think Rogar will ask Suzanne. Suzanne, could you fly to the top and make sure there is nothing waiting for us at the top of this climb?
She, without a word, just jumps into the air and flies above all of you very quickly, out of sight, so you can't even tell where she is. You can sometimes hear her wings, but she's obviously flying well out of view. But visibility is actually kind of poor, and in fact, you can only see really to the top of the glacier, 70 feet above you, but not really even any details. And in your mind, Rorgar, you hear from her. She says that there are several campfires not too far from the climb, but nothing that she can tell. But she does smell something in the air that doesn't smell right.
Very good. Stay up there and give us a warning if anything does approach.
With a laugh, Atlas moves to go first, and you see what he does is he follows the technique that he was showing you all. He takes the spikes in his hands and uses those to dig into the ice, and he pulls himself up about 20 feet. Right there. And then he takes his chisel and hammers in one of the spikes and attaches his rope to it that's around his waist, and he begins to continue up.
Garn's just gonna walk over to Valen. Get in the sack. Just gonna hold a big sack for her.
And she kind of looks at you and she rolls her eyes. And she says, I knew it would come to this. This is so degrading. And she starts to climb into the sack.
Garn will just make sure it's secured to him as good as possible and have Varian check. And then start making his way up.
And as you make your way to the ice, Valen says to you, Guardian, she says, if you're going to fall and kill us all, I only request that you fall on Ollie. And Ollie kind of turns her head and she says, the stupid owl won't shut her mouth. She's been making fun of me all morning. If I'm going to be crushed, please crush her too. It's only fair.
I will do my best to get both.
And after, I'd say, a few more moments, Atlas is slowly making his way up.
I think Rorgar will try to follow pretty closely behind Guardian.
Okay. So I looked at the... Oh, go ahead.
I'd like to, if possible, to stay within about 10 feet of him.
Okay. The rules for climber kits say basically when you use a climber's kit, which all of you have access to, you attach an anchor to yourself, and when you do, you can't fall more than 25 feet from the point where you anchored yourself. But you can't climb more than 25 feet away from that point without undoing the anchor. So basically that means if you all follow the procedure that Atlas gave you, you shouldn't fall more than 25 feet.
Okay.
But as you start to make your way first, Guardian, if you can give me an athletics check, please.
Can I rage at the ice wall? Just kidding. Do I get any advantages from having the gear or anything like that?
No, the gear is what makes this possible.
Okay.
16 is fine. She's actually a light old lady. She's mostly bone. Doesn't really slow you down much, Guardian, as you make your way up.
So you said I could throw her then?
You threw Laja pretty far, if I remember correctly. It didn't work out so well for Laja, but she did go very far.
Yeah, let me just say, from being the person who was thrown, please don't.
Okay.
Yeah, but now we have a dragon to catch her.
I should mention that, let's see, your climbing speed is going to be half your movement speed, everyone. So Guardian, you're the only one that can do 20 feet at a time here. So I put you there. Rorgar, as you go to follow behind him, if you can also give me an athletics check, please.
Will do.
So unfortunately with an 11, as you start to make your way up the ice, you're following what Atlas showed you, but you drive one of the pikes in the spikes into the ice, and the ice breaks away and you slip back down to the ground.
Huh. Must have found a weak spot.
I think up next we have Virion.
Just wanted to see something. Because I have this natural explorer trait and the Arctic is part of, and mountain is, Arctic and mountain are like familiar terrains. Does that give me any advantage here? You're particularly familiar with one type of natural environment and are adept at traveling and I guess not. Never mind.
I would let you use acrobatics instead of athletics. For this situation,
okay.
then.
It could be he's Circus Soleil his way up the rope.
There you go.
I can just do it with style. That's true.
Climbing upside down.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll Spider-Man it. Not that it matters.
Yeah, it doesn't, unfortunately. As you go to attack the ice, um, maybe you think you can use your crampons instead of actually using any other spikes, and you try to like do both feet up in the ice, and it doesn't happen, and you slide back down.
Gonna have to reassess this situation, I guess.
What could be done is when Guardian gets up top there, he just lowers the rope and just pulls all you guys up one by one.
I was thinking about that with tying a rope to Suzanne as she went up there, but it came to me a little too late.
I should also stress how high this thing is. This is over 70 feet tall.
Tie 2 ropes together. That's 100 feet then.
Yeah.
But will it be strong enough at that knot?
Yeah, we can triple knot it.
But from your vantage point now at the back, Laja, you're seeing Rorgar and Virion making a very good job of going nowhere up the glacier.
Give me 1 second. I technically didn't prep my spells today, which means I have the opportunity to say that I prepared something since I didn't do any of them yet. Let me see. I can target 1 additional. So I'm going to cast this at 3rd level since I can. Wait. Oh, I'm going to use my soul 4th level spell slot to give us bull strength for the 3 of us down here because I'm very scared.
Very nice.
And then I will get all of my stuff ready, see them not do too well. And I guess after doing a little bit of a prayer, I'm gonna get ready to try to start climbing, but I'm gonna be the slowest one to climb. So maybe I should go last.
But Laja, as you tackle the glacier, if you can give me that strength athletics check. At advantage now.
I'm glad not to have that 5.
16 is good. So what's half of Laja's speed at this point? Is it 10?
Yeah, it would be 25 divided by 2, so probably 10.
To Rorgar and Virion, you see Laja, the smallest of the party, make her way up the ice, and she, takes one jab with the spike and pulls herself up, and she's slow going, but she's managed to get her way up the ice.
Virion, I believe I've heard that the dwarves are renowned for their climbing ability, right? No?
Yeah, I have heard that.
It is certainly not us that are failing.
No, Laja's just really good.
And then Rorgar will attempt to climb.
And Laja, I'd put you in this position by Guardian. She could be anywhere if you don't have to be like directly close to Guardian.
No, I think that's fine.
If someone
I
falls,
will
it's probably a
say-
good idea to not be directly underneath them. Just a tip.
I will say that the other 2 of them feel a little bit more, I don't want to say confident, but once they start moving, they feel a little bit stronger and not so unsure of themselves.
We'll treat it like another round. So another round, Atlas makes his way up. Guardian, you can make your way up. At this point, you're 25 feet up. Probably put down a spike.
Did I make another roll?
Nope, you don't have to.
Okay. This is how Guardian puts down the spike. He just grabs it, and he just shoves it into the wall. Atlas has a hammer, Guardian just shoves it with his thumb. He's like, there you go.
Which I think...
I imagine that Valen's head's poking out of the sack over his shoulders, just watching.
You can notice, Guardian, as you're making your way up, that although this is ice and from far away it looks very deceptively, harmless, you can see it's actually very sharp in some places, to where if you were to fall, even at a short distance and hit some of this ice, it would be very painful.
could rage.
You could attack the ice. You could. But I think next up we had Rorgar, who was going to try to work his way up there.
Suddenly I feel stronger.
God, 23 is just fine. So Rorgar, very easily, you've pulled your way up. Rorgar isn't exactly at the point where he probably would put a spike, so I think you're probably still free climbing at this point. But Virion, you're seeing everyone else make their way easily up the ice now. A 17 will work. I should say that the next time if you need to do a check, Virion, you should probably use strength because you have advantage on strength, not dex, from enhance ability. But that's okay. A 17 here will work.
Oh, I thought that said advantage on dex checks.
I think
I chose bull strength,
Yeah.
so we have strength checks.
Ah, okay.
that'll get you in line up there with Rorgar. Let's see, Laja, as you begin to make your way up the ice, I think we said half of your movement there is 5 feet, so I'll put you there. Yeah, so the next turn, Atlas begins to move his way up very easily. You can see he's really having no problems at all. He's following the procedure that he told you all, where he's putting a spike down, and that takes him a little time, but he's very quickly climbing up. It looks like he's almost reached the top, and in fact, Laja, you can't really even see him so well in this visibility that's so low. But Guardian, you make your way up. I think it's like right there.
Pin goes in, Guardian goes up. Goes in, Guardian goes up.
I think Rorgar, we put you there, and I imagine are you going to put a spike, much like Guardian did, to basically for safety?
Absolutely.
Do the same with Virion.
Mm-hmm.
And as we move to Laja, you begin to pull yourself up. When you look up, I guess, to see Atlas, because it's a little impressive to see Atlas scurrying up the side of the ice so much. When you see a shape moving around Atlas from above him, and it looks like he does not see it. And this shape appears to be flying down the ice at him. And the first person that actually sees it is Guardian. But if I could get everyone to roll initiative for me, please.
Initiative now?
Yep.
Good.
18. I get advantage.
So let me describe what you're seeing, Guardian, as it's coming down kind of at your face. It's a strange creature that actually looks sort of like a bird. It's got feathers like a bird, but it has the head of what looks like a stag. But it has very sharp claws, which are reaching out toward you, and also has very large, sharp teeth.
Well, I'll just say Atlas up ahead. And, well, none of them are near me, so I can't really do anything.
Okay.
I can keep moving up, I guess.
Yes, you may.
I will, by 20.
So the thing is, though, with your spike, which is why I had all of you put down the spike so that we could keep track of it. With the spike, you can't move more than 25 feet away from it. And if you want to move more than 25 feet away from it, you have to use an action to actually pull up the spike to then relocate it. So what that means is you could actually move here without taking an action to pull up the spike. Or you could pull up the spike and then move and then place it again. The point of the spike is if you were to fall, you can't fall more than 25 feet away from it. So you can say, hey, screw these spikes, I'm just going to go free climbing, and then you can move as much as you'd like whenever you want to. But then if you fall all the way to the ground.
And I'm assuming 30 is up top? That's the top of it then?
Yeah, it's 30 feet, yep.
Okay. I have a horrible idea, everyone. Garn's gonna undo the rope on him, but leave it tied around the sack Valen's in. And he's going to let the sack hang where it's hanging.
Oh, so it's going to drop actually to where the hook is.
I haven't gone up from where the hook was put in.
Yeah, you have the hooks here.
Oh. Wait. Why is the hook's down there? How do I unhook that?
If you want to unhook the hook, it's an action. Well, let's say this. The rules are kind of fuzzy on this. I'll say unhooking it is a free action. If you want to hook it again to anchor yourself, that's the action. Because that would take too much time, I think, for both.
But do I have to make a check for climbing up to 40 feet?
You can't. You can only climb 20 feet.
If I unhook.
Yeah, same. It's difficult terrain, either way.
So if it's difficult terrain, shouldn't I then only be moving 10 feet?
You should be moving half of your movement.
Yeah, I thought half of the movement was just climbing.
Yeah, I'm saying half of your movement for climbing here. I mean, you can move less if you want.
Okay. I'm just gonna unhook and go up to 20 feet and hook back in.
Okay.
Because this is confusing.
20 feet would be there. And putting your hook there. So moving us to one of these guys. One of the birds swoops down at you, Virion, actually.
Good.
It swoops in about here and makes 2 attacks. It first kind of comes at you with its claws, followed very closely by its teeth. So a 9 and a 24.
24 will hit.
So the 24 is the teeth of this thing as it takes a bite out of you, and because it swooped in, it's using more force. So it's actually extra damage. The total is 16 piercing damage.
Ooh. Very good.
And then after it does that, it actually wheels and flies away. Back here.
Great.
And the next one swoops down on Atlas. And actually takes a bite out of him also. He didn't see it coming at all, and he's only managing to hang on very loosely. And then the bird flies back to where it was. Let's see, moving us to another one off to the side. Flies over to you, Rorgar.
What? I don't believe you.
And then also makes an attack with talons and its teeth. Ineffectual with both, an 8 and a 7, and it flies away.
And I guess I should make it clear, I wouldn't be holding my shield while I climb, so my AC is actually 16 at the moment.
Yeah, I rolled a 7 and an 8, so I'm very certain that missed. And one that's much closer moves into you, Guardian, and attacks. 9 and a 19.
19 hits.
So with that one, also driven by the force of its dive, does 17 damage to you.
Oh, when the bird flew away from Rorgar, can Rorgar make an opportunity attack?
Unfortunately, they're using the flyby ability, so they don't trigger attacks of opportunity.
I can't edit Guardian's health for some reason. I can't actually grab its token.
You know, it might be because of the spikes in the way. Let me move that. Is that better?
Yep, that'll work. Yep.
And the last bird takes another swipe at you, Guardian. 16 and a 13.
16 will hit.
So the 16 is 16 points of damage, piercing.
Okay.
And then it soars back kind of off to the side. Taking us to Rorgar.
I'm debating my course of action here. What if do I have to get to this? Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. Do I have to get to this square to get to the top and to be able to climb up?
Yeah, I'd say that's the top.
And can I climb diagonally?
Yeah, you can climb diagonally. The only restriction you have is you're moving half your move speed currently, and you can't move more than 25 feet away from that spike that's below you. You can pull the spike up if you want to move further away from it than 25 feet, but then you don't have its protection if you were to suddenly lose your grip and fall.
I would like to. Rorgar will climb to here. That's still good for the spike?
Yeah, it's only 20 feet away.
And he will hold his attack for if something gets within melee attack range.
Okay. And next we have Virion.
Ooh, Rokar moved over there. I guess I'm going to just try and move up as much as I can. Do I need to do another roll now that we've done the anchor?
No, it's you don't need to do a roll yet. The thing about the anchor is you can't move more than 25 feet away from it. You can, with the free action, pull it up if you want. But then if you take damage or if you fall, you would fall all the way to the ground. But you can move further if you wanted to, away from it.
Okay. I will take my 15 and yeah, already a reaction to God, I don't know how to I guess block if I get swooped at again.
Okay.
And that'll be the turn.
Which takes us to Laja.
Okay, just remember putting in an anchor. Would that be my action?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So, I mean, I need to move up anyway. So I will move up 1, 2. That's as far as I can go, and then I'll put an anchor where I am. And that will be what I do. That way I'm not just free floating and can fall down.
Which takes us to Guardian. You're the closest to the top, Guardian. You can see over the tip of the top of the glacier here.
I will reaction unhook, climb up, and sumo on top, or do I have to hook for that?
I'm sorry?
If I unhook and climb up, do I have to rehook up top there, or am I free up top?
I think you're free up top. The only way you'd go down at that point is if something shoved you.
You know what? Just because you said that, I'm just gonna rehook into the ground.
Yeah, that wasn't a hint or anything.
That is my action.
So moving you up here.
You know what? Rage as a bonus. You said the ice is rather spiky?
Yeah, it's very sharp.
Cool. I'm just gonna rage and step on the ice shards a little bit to hurt myself.
Okay, that works.
How much damage do I take?
I'd say one hit point. You know, I had a player one time who set himself on fire as a barbarian, so he'd constantly take damage, so he could constantly stay raged. So, yeah, this is the worst I've seen.
Was he extra crispy?
I think he used alchemist fire to set himself on fire. Yeah.
He should have named himself the Baconator. I'm raging.
All right.
Haha.
So let's see. This birdie, I think it's going to take in a flight down to you, Virion, and try its same approach. So a 12 and a 7.
No to both on those.
And then it flies away. And the next one, I think at this point, it's going to swoop down at you, Orgar. So I think since you were holding your action, you get to go first, I think, in this case.
Huzzah!
Go for it. Unfortunately, an 8 will not hit it.
That's okay. I didn't want to, anyways.
Oh, it does an 18 and an 18.
Both will hit.
Ooh. So, let me do some math here. Since it did a dive, it does extra damage here. So it did 32 points of damage. All piercing.
Ouch!
And then it flies back up. So there's one here on the side. It takes a look at you, Laja, and it dives down at you. Uh, 13 and 18.
The 18 will hit.
So that's 17 piercing.
Okay, I have to check for my concentration, so
And then it flies away.
okay.
Yeah, I think that'll work. So the next is the one that's right over you, Guardian, and it takes a swoop in to attack you also.
Oh no.
2 13s.
No.
So it misses, and then it flies back up in the air. Leaving the last one, which will take a swoop at Atlas.
Feet, 10. I could jump that.
Oh no. All right. So as the bird attacks Atlas, Atlas was probably turned to the side looking at you, Virion, and not paying attention. But as the bird strikes him, Atlas loses his gripped on his spikes. He was not secured to the ice, and he plummets to the ground.
Oh, did he make a save?
He was not secured. He did not spike himself in, as he was advising all of you to do.
Oh, I'm only asking because if he had to make a save, he would get a +3 to that save.
No, he had to make a check, and he failed it.
By how much? By 3?
By 4.
Don't Goliaths get advantage on strength checks? Well, that's 4th edition.
Yeah, I don't think he does. Not
That's the 3 of us.
not. Yeah, he didn't get anything from Laj's spell, so no, he's just normally climbing. He might not die though. Let's see.
The big fall.
Oh wait, I think it's 1 point for every 10 feet.
I think it's a D6 for every 10 feet.
He could trigger Stone's Endurance.
Okay, 14 damage isn't fatal for him.
He could also still do Stone's Endurance if that's a lot of health.
Stone's Endurance, that's a reaction, isn't it?
Yeah, he's reacting to falling.
Sounds right.
Oh, hey, look at that. A 10.
Hey, plus whatever his con modifier is.
So very little damage for Atlas as he falls to the ground. But I'll say he's probably stunned for a while. But the bird that moved in to attack him used up all of its movement to get close. So off to the side, Rorgar, you can see it. It did not fly away. Which is important because it's your turn now, Rorgar.
I'm so tempted just to get to the top.
Yeah.
I think Rorgar will first use Lay on Hands to heal himself. That'll be an action. So I'll heal Rorgar will heal himself for 30 points. And I think for now he's just going to stay where he is.
Okay. That takes us to you, Virion.
Okay, so how far? So it's an action to put a spike in, right?
Yep, it is.
And how far away are we? So 15. So still like 25 feet to get to the top if I'm going straight up here. Yeah, I'm gonna use my action, so I can't move if I put a spike in. All right. Oh, that worries me. I'm just gonna keep climbing.
I think
Oh,
it's
wait.
pronounced Periton, not Peloton. They're not exercise bikes.
Wait, so I can only move within 25 feet of my previous spike too, right? That's the thing?
I would say if you want to, you can use a free action to draw the spike up and then put it in where you are now, and then you can move. You can only move half your movement, but you can only ever move 25 feet away from the spike where it was placed. So, if you use your action to place it where you are now, then you can move your full 15 feet.
Okay. Then I'll place the spike here and then move the 15 feet.
Okay. which takes us to Laja.
Okay, so first I am going to use my action. I'm going to cast. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to show the spell description. Anyway, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon right there. And I guess we can use that 17 for the attack that it will make straight off.
Sure. 17 will definitely hit.
And I guess I will move up the little bit that I can above my anchor, and
Okay.
we'll just see what happens.
So your spiritual weapon appears, bashes the Peloton. I'm going to call it the Pelotons because I think that's better. Bashes the Peloton in the head. Kind of shakes its head unexpectedly. Did not think that was going to happen. But now we move to Guardian at the top of the glacier. Guardian won the race. He made it first.
My turn? Yes.
Yep.
I'm going to jump up and hit that thing with my hammer.
Okay.
You
Your
want me to
chain
do,
could reach it, you know.
Don't have the chain anymore. Actually, I don't know who has it.
It's in my backpack.
Okay.
Well, then you can't use the chain.
Nope.
Sure.
Leap up into the air.
Okay.
You want me to make a athletics for that?
Why don't you do an acrobatics check?
Athletics?
Say it's a 10 is the difficulty, so very low.
I thought jumping was athletics.
Let's do acrobatics though, because you're standing on ice.
Okay.
Got to give you a challenge. See, you made it. Uh, 25 will definitely hit.
Damage. For the second attack, do I gotta make another jump?
No.
Or am I
it's
just
okay.
like whacking it twice?
Yeah, we can go off the one roll. A 27 crit will definitely hit.
Jesus.
With that hit, you squash the bird, the Peloton. With a crunch, you hit it, and it falls to the ground with a scream. Laja, give me a D6 roll, please.
You know, to be fair, GM, it's a crit. I send it. I send it hard.
Okay, I was gonna say on a 1 it hits Laja, but on the 3 it just falls to the ground. Just past you, Laja, you see a crushed form of one of the Pelotons as it falls to the ground.
It's a very close call. I sort of just like try to move a little bit to the side as it falls down.
Garen just looks over like, damn it. Just leans back.
Just moves on to the next one. So
Oh,
this,
I still have a movement. Right?
okay, where are you going?
Oh no, I jumped. Never mind.
So this one makes a move towards you, Virion, and attacks twice. 23, imagine that hits.
That will hit.
That is 16 piercing.
Okay.
And then it flies back to where it started. Which leaves this one, which flies in towards you, Guardian, and takes 2 swipes. 22 and a 24.
Both will hit.
32 piercing.
16 damage. Okay. That becomes dirty. As a barbarian. And it was like 32, like that just becomes 16 now.
And the next Peloton, the one that was hit by the hammer, swoops into you, Laja. 12 and a 7.
Neither of those hit.
And it flies back up out of the way. Which leaves the one that took out Atlas to fly over next to you, Rogar. 24 and 11.
One of those will hit.
So that one hits you for 16 piercing. And then it flies back out of the way. But we're back to you, Rogar.
So you said unhooking is free?
Yeah.
So this might screw up the map a little bit because I'm kind of... But I'd like to use Misty Step to move 30 feet. Oh, hold on. I got to read the description of Misty Step.
I don't see why it has to be horizontal.
No, but I have to see where I'm going. So I can't do that.
I would allow you to Misty Step 30 feet up to the edge, but then I'd probably make you do some kind of check.
No, if I fall, I have no safety net, so that's okay. Rogar will climb up to here, and then use his action to reattach the spike.
Okay.
Would I also in my turn be able to call out for as I climb out first? Call out for Suzanne to come help us.
Yes, you may. Let's put her. I'll put her at initiative slot 0.
Perfect. And there's nothing else I can do.
This takes us to Laja.
Okay, so first I'm going to use my bonus action to move my spiritual weapon. The big hammer will make its lovely little attack against that one. I don't know if a 10's going to do it.
That does not hit, unfortunately.
No, so in which case I will move up the 10 feet that I can, and then that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay. And diving from the sky is Suzanne. What does Suzanne do?
I think Suzanne will dive towards the closest Periton and attack.
Okay. Yeah, I think she has 60 flight speed, which would put her very easily in range of this one.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. If somebody could roll for Suzanne.
Yeah, I got it up. I'm just I was thinking about using the breath attack, but no, they're not both in range, so I'll save it.
So unfortunately, a 12 will not hit.
My rolls have been terrible.
It's very close. Their AC is 13. They're just exercise bikes after all. So back to Guardian, top of the mountain.
This one is on the ground?
It's in the air.
Probably over the ledge then, huh?
Yeah, I don't have the horizontal space accounted for. I'd say he's in the air, but if you were to get like here, you'd be in range. I wouldn't worry about the 3-dimensional distance. I'd say you're still in range.
Plus, haven't attacked. Okay, not melee attack. Okay, I am going to pull out one of my javelins. I don't use them that often. And I don't get my rage. Yeah, I don't get my rage damage on it. But I'm going to hurl a javelin recklessly at it.
Okay. So what does it look like to hurl a javelin recklessly? Just curious.
It's a lot of anger and not really aiming with it, I guess. I don't know how to describe that.
Kind of growls when he throws it or something. 22 will hit.
Okay. 10 piercing. And I'm just going to throw another one because it's my second attack.
Hey, it's working. Keep going. Yeah.
Recklessly.
A 15 will hit.
Yay. 18 total damage.
I imagine he's not aiming so much as he's just using muscle memory and just chucking it.
Angry
He's
javelin
daydreaming.
throwing.
He's daydreaming while he's throwing those.
But the one that's been chipping away at you, Varian, makes another swoop in. $11 and a 13.
No and no.
All right, and after his 2 misses, he flies back. And the one that's become a pincushion with Guardian angry javelin throws, it's going to take a swoop at you, Guardian.
Good. It has advantage.
Oh, 21.
Yep.
So that's 16 piercing. And the Peloton that's been
Oh, I don't have Sentinel. Shit, that would be great if I had Sentinel.
I already tried that.
Yeah, their flies don't trigger attacks of opportunity, unfortunately.
Oh. Even on Sentinel? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep. The Peloton moves in to attack you, Leja. 20 and an 8.
The 20 hits.
So the 20 is 16 piercing. So it gores you, and then it flies away. To there. And the final one here makes a move to you, Rorgar. 21 and 23.
Both will hit.
That is 32.
I am down.
Oh, wow.
So luckily you did set your spike here, so you don't actually fall, but Varian beside you, you see Rorgar as the Peloton attacks him with its teeth and its claws, that Rorgar kind of goes limp and starts to fall, but he's caught on his rope. And it's your turn, Varian.
Virion is just going to try, I guess, just climb up to the top. Wait, 5, 10, 15. Yeah, I should be good to get to 25 feet. And that is where I'll pull out my anchor and be at the top.
Okay. Just like I said with Guardian, you don't have to set the anchor at the top, but that means you're just not secured if something pushes you.
Okay, I think I'm gonna set the anchor.
See, the way he says pushes you just means that, yeah, these things could.
Exactly. I don't. Josh,
Don't
you're a
trust-
nice guy, but I don't trust you at all.
Well, they're not entirely stupid creatures, so.
Fair.
Takes us to Rorgar, which I think you have to make a death save for us, please.
Yeah, and I just did a quick Googling. I do get a +3 with my aura of protection.
Cool. Excellent.
Excellent. Nah, that's actually a lie. Other people would, I don't.
Isn't it concentration?
I have to be conscious. I can't say the word. I have to be awake. But for future use, if I'm within 10 feet of anyone and they have to make a death save, they will get the 3 bonus. I just don't get it myself.
That's good to know. So if everyone's down, you can just walk around and I'll improve all of their death saves.
Of course, I won't heal them. Plus 3 is enough. That should be fine.
You'll just make it easier for them to not die. Got it.
Yeah.
And we move on to Laja.
Okay, so I am going to. I'm more afraid of the one that's right above me. So I am going to move my nice hammer, try to hit with it.
22 will hit.
22. And then from there, I am not going to move any of my stuff. I'm just going to stay where I am. Because I guess I could move up 1. I'm going to move up 1, half my movement. And that'll be it.
Okay. That takes us
I
to
guess,
Suzanne.
oh, I do have my action. So
Oh, yeah,
I'm
go
going
ahead.
to use the dodge action.
Okay.
Just in case.
I imagine it's interesting dodging when you're climbing a glacier.
I mean, I could say that I'm just preparing for somebody to come here and I will fend them off, but
Hey, we've seen
technically I'm
Sylvester
using the
Stallone
dodge
do it.
action.
It can be done. We saw Sylvester Stallone do it. In Cliffhanger.
Oh, God.
That's so bad.
That's exactly what Laja would do. Exactly like Stallone. But
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
let's all hope it. Yes. Moving on to Suzanne, though.
I think Suzanne will just follow the one that she tried to attack before and make another attack.
Okay. A 12 will not hit, unfortunately. Yeah, there's no way that she has advantage. Man, that hurts.
I should stop rolling.
I have a dumb idea, and I love it in my head. I'm anchored up top, GM. And this little guy here is within 15 feet.
Okay.
And Suzanne's right there. Right?
Yeah.
Would I get advantage if I go here?
Advantage if you climb down. Yeah, we're not going to worry about 3-dimensional space. We'll just treat this 2-dimensional.
I'm not climbing. Guardians is going to jump off with his maul in both hands overhead. He's just going to whack that thing into the rock.
Okay. If you're going to jump, because I think it's cool, I would let you attack when you pass by it wherever you want, but you would fall. Like, there would be no way to save or anything. Like, you'll take the full falling damage.
Well, no, I'm anchored up top, so I only fall 25.
Oh, that's right. You are anchored. Okay. Yeah, I forgot you're anchored. Okay. Yeah, sure. Go for it.
You also do have a frail woman strapped to you, right?
I did say she's securely strapped to me, and I had variant double check. So,
Yeah.
She good.
Is good.
Yeah, I think I'll let you do that, and you could attack as you're falling down, and you'll end up next to Laja.
And I have advantage?
Yeah, you're diagonal if you attack right here to Suzanne, sure.
Yeah.
I'll give you advantage.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to
You
do.
could also just recklessly attack, too.
Yeah, either way, I was just going to say, like, do I do the reckless and get hit easier, or do I have advantage with Suzanne? Either way, I'm going to get advantage one way or the other.
I mean, I would let you, sure. I think it's cool. So, yeah, you could have advantage at this point for both attacks. Yeah, briefly.
23.
23 will hit.
Oh, that's supposed to be with the 2 rage. So 10. And then the next one.
22.
15 damage. And
For 15 damage, you do manage to kill it. But Laja, can you roll me the d6 again?
I want to embed it into the wall.
I don't think you have to worry about that because this Peloton is dead and it also falls right past your face again, Laja. But I think you're now hanging off of the hook. Yeah, it's suspended next to Laja.
Hello.
Great move.
So the Peloton over here, it's going to... let me see how far it can actually move. It's going to fly in at you, Guardian. A 13 and a 17.
17 will hit.
So that one is 17 piercing.
Oof.
And then it flies away.
Guys, I'm down to 26 health as I look at everyone else.
And the Peloton next to you, Virian, is going to also move in and attack.
Very good.
15 and 22.
Those are both gonna hit.
That is 32, unfortunately.
And I have gone down.
Guys,
No. Our range offense.
The next Peloton, let's see. What's this guy gonna do?
He just witnessed a big man beat the crap out of his friend.
So I'll tell you all the story about these perhaps after, since Virian, you're unconscious. You might know a little bit about them. But the summary is they have a huge backstory on these things. Apparently the purpose of these things is to kill you and tear your hearts out. That's what their goal is. So they're pretty
Joke's
vicious.
on them. I don't have one.
I think this one's going to move in and actually attack Suzanne.
Coward.
24 and a 10. I think the 24 will hit.
Yep, definitely.
So she takes 16 piercing damage.
Now, can Suzanne rage? Is she a barbarian dragon?
No.
Damn, I tried, Rogar.
Maybe when she levels up.
But Virian, you could do one of those saves. You are... Oh, Rogar's out. I was going to say you are within range, but he's still down.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Oh, that's 2 failures, isn't it?
that
Mhm.
sure is.
So, Rogar?
Well, there's no way we rolled 2 of those in a row, right?
I would have laughed if he rolled a 1.
I think Rogar's got 2 successes here.
I was kind of hoping of 1, just for the comedy.
Good meds.
So, Laja, I think intuitively, Lathander might have told you that your friend Virian is in distress.
oh, of course. I already have a plan, and my plan is to cast Aura of Vitality. That way I only have to use 1 spell slot on both of these fools. So I'm going to start with Virian, and Virian's going to get 10 healing, and then Rogar can wait and get healing next turn. But anyway, my bonus action, let me see how far I can move this thing. I can move it over to this one, so it'll attack.
An 11
I
will
don't
not
know.
hit, unfortunately.
Yeah, no.
Is Lasha going to move?
No, because I can't move any further from the hook.
Oh, that's right.
Oh no! Another dumb idea.
You guys are distracting me from the very important business of climbing any further.
All right, Suzanne, who has been attacked by this peloton who flew away.
I think Suzanne would be single-minded and continue focusing on this one that she's been chasing. So Suzanne will drop down just a square, and since I don't want to roll for anything anymore, Suzanne is going to use her cold breath.
Okay.
So it's a DC 12 con save for the Periton.
I feel like it's gonna have advantage or resistance.
It failed. It failed. Yep.
Wow. Jesus.
And Suzanne's cold as she like blasts this thing with this like wave of cold out of her mouth. The peloton turns into an ice cube, like completely freezes in motion, like it's mid-flight, falls far to the ground. And Laja and Guardian, I think you can both perhaps see this. I think Laja, you have the best vision, but Laja, you see as it hits the ground, it shatters into a cloud of ice. And that was the one that was going to go next, I think.
Now I'm kind of... Have I ever used Rorgar's cold breath?
I think you used it once.
Maybe once.
I think once here.
That definitely looked cooler, though. That looked way cooler.
Well, yeah, we actually see a dragon doing it.
But onward to Guardian.
Yeah, he feet. Yay! So I am just going to. Ever seen Avengers? The Hulk move where he just like he rolls around on the building, killing a bunch of guys. That's what I'm gonna do.
It's gonna roll your way
Roll over here. Roll over there. Whack him twice with the maul recklessly.
Okay.
17.
17 what?
7 damage, and then the next whack.
There we go.
Yep, that'll hit.
11 damage.
Well, that's a crit, right?
Yeah, the crit's only been included in.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Very good solid hit on this birdie. Was not expecting you to roll over the ice to get to it in this way. But it's next. So I think what it's going to do is it's just going to attack back. And since it does have advantage,
Mm-hmm.
the first attack I know misses, but the second one, the 24, I'm pretty sure hits for 8 piercing damage.
4.
And it flies further away.
Oh, damn.
Which leads its friend, who is going to soar in at you, Guardian.
Oh, yes. Get close.
17 and a 16.
Both will hit.
That's 32 piercing.
Okay, now I'm in a little bit of danger.
And it flies away as well. Which takes us to Virion. Virion, standing at death's door. You feel the healing energy from Laja bring you back.
Okay. Virion collects his beer. I imagine that he was like fainting, and as he's like about to hit the ground, he just gets picked back up by this healing energy, and he sees this peloton fly over this way, and I think from here, is it another one of those windy situations where a bow is going to be compromised by the wind?
No, it's actually not.
Well, this is just a great day for everybody then. I'm going to pull out the longbow and take a shot at the old Peloton over this way then.
Uh, 20 will hit.
For 10 piercing damage on that
Which
guy.
one were you shooting at? Sorry, the one that's closest?
Yeah, that one off to my right there.
It's a good solid hit. Do the penguins attack as well?
They only come out once per turn, but if there's a chance that they could take this guy down, I will use it here and see. Oh, they full damaged him.
Beautiful. That's enough. So Virion, your shot hits the peloton, and somehow the penguins falling from the sky, perhaps, or maybe even one of them riding the arrow, launches itself off of the arrow at the last moment, grabs the peloton, starts chewing on its face, but the dead bird falls from the sky.
Very lovely. And then I will take my second attack and shoot at the last remaining peloton there.
25 will hit.
And for 4 damage.
That one is still alive, but that moves us to you, Wargar.
Alrighty, let's see what happens. Hey, I stabilize.
Nice.
And we move on to Laja.
Well, Rorgar can, wake up a little bit with a good 6 healing.
Even that roll is low. It's so
That
good.
is luckily a bonus action, which means I can move my anchor by picking up the other one and putting a new one in. I can finally make progress after that, and I will move up 10 feet. That's everything.
Taking us to Suzanne.
Suzanne will charge at this last one. Going to there. Actually, let's leave Guardian room just in case. And can someone else roll Suzanne's attack for me?
I nominate Varian.
What do you need me to roll? Wait, where's the sheet? Are we just running the bite here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a 9 will miss.
Now, let's just see what I would have rolled just in case.
Ooh,
Come on.
That would have hit. That would definitely have hit.
No, the game knows that I wasn't making the actual roll. It knows.
I'm going to pull up my last javelin.
Okay.
And I'm going to huck it recklessly.
Let's see. It's more than 30 feet away, so
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be a disadvantage canceled by reckless, so just a normal attack. Uh, 26 will definitely hit, though.
5 damage.
Yeah, that strikes the peloton. It looks heavily injured, but let's see. It's still going to swoop in at you, Guardian.
It's not going to try and run away from being heavily injured and having all of its allies dead.
No.
Damn it.
Really, the description of these things is really hardcore, I'm telling you. 21.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
That is 17 piercing.
I'm unconscious.
And it's going to actually be a jerk and fly right here. Actually, there, because I can't go that far. But takes us to Viren.
Big shot with the bow incoming here.
A 15 will hit.
For another 10 piercing.
And that takes the Peloton out of the sky. Taking us out of combat. I think unless you tell me differently, Laja, you'd probably use your aura to bring Guardian back up.
Absolutely.
So there you go, Guardian. 9 damage.
Huh.
9 healing, rather.
9 healing damage.
Atlas, you still alive?
So you see Atlas down below, and he says, "Yeah, that hurt. You want to use your spike? Don't do what I did."
I used my spike to kill them. Make your way back up. The guard's just gonna slowly climb his way back up. And he's just gonna look at the Valen, like, you okay?
And Valen, she, as soon as you let her out of the sack, she kind of takes a few steps forward and throws up everything that she'd eaten that morning onto the ice beside you.
I was kind of expecting you to do that in the sack.
And she says,
Good job.
"Oh, I did. Thank you."
Oh. I see.
And she says, I think next time I might try to climb by myself."
Hopefully we
You
don't have
sure?
to climb again.
That was fun.
But Suzanne lands next to all of you here at the top of the glacier. So let me describe glacier travel a little bit. So glaciers are really just giant blocks of ice. So normally as you're traveling through the snow, there's the difficulty of placing your feet, kind of just pushing your way through. But in a glacier, it's something entirely different. So if you guys have made your way up to the top now, you kind of move away from the edge a bit, you see that it's quite a bit of work because each step you have to drive those spikes at the bottom of your shoes into the ice to maintain your footing. So it's actually a whole lot of physical exertion just to walk and maintain your balance. But Suzanne, as she lands next to all of you, she seems to be perfectly happy because she's kind of equipped for this.
What time of day is it roughly now?
It's getting later, so it's getting quite dark actually.
And do we see those signs of fires in the distance that Suzanne saw?
You do. You see kind of on the horizon some points of light.
Atlas, do you have any idea of who could be out there?
Well, it's probably one of the tribes. It would be kind of a coin toss if it's the tiger tribe, wolf tribe, bear tribe, or elk tribe.
Would you say we would be safe to rest here if we had to?
He kind of looks around. If there are more of those things out there, I don't know. I know the tribes have been starving on the ice, so there's probably not many creatures to worry about on the ice itself, but as far as the air, who could say?
Oh, GM, quick side note. Could Atlas have gotten the javelins back for Guardian?
Sure.
Yay!
Well, friends, what do you think? Should we attempt to rest? I do not feel very, very strong at the moment.
I think we probably should give it a try. If we run into anybody we don't know if they will be friendly, and if we are not in a good state ourselves, then that might be asking for trouble.
could take a short rest.
Yeah, why don't we at least take a short rest and see what happens?
Yeah. Everyone looks pretty depleted here.
Also, I should mention that ever since you climbed the glacier, you're here at the top. It is noticeably colder. Probably due to elevation or the fact that you're on a block of ice, but it's probably a good 10 to 15 degrees colder just here on the ice than when you were at the bottom. So I'd say Laja and Rorgar, you're starting to feel that cold that you haven't really in the Dale before. Guardian, Virian, and Valen especially, it's quite miserable. And in fact, Guardian, as you're moving, like your pieces of armor are starting to groan as icicles and frost start to form on them. And Virian, you can just feel the cold through your furs. It just feels like no way to stay warm.
Are we able to take a short rest though, Jam?
Yeah, you can still take a short rest.
Dice. Hit
So-
dice.
Roll your hit dice if you want to.
While we rest, I think Rorgar will take one of his torches, stick it in the ground, and light it with his tinderbox to create a small fire everyone can kind of warm up around.
And there is wind, Wargar. It's that sort of situation where the fire, it's all you can do to keep it burning, and you have to get very, very close to get any kind of warmth from it.
I'll ask Suzanne to kind of block the wind to protect the fire.
God, I have so much health. Laja, don't you have anything that gives us bonus for short rests?
I don't believe so. Not as a light cleric.
I think
I'm all damage and fire.
Logic can stop the bleeding by burning it.
It's cauterizing. It's fine.
Who doesn't want scars? Come on. I got 2 hit dice left.
I did, however, and you all will be happy to hear this. I forgot about my warding flares again, which I can use for other people around me. But, you know, we live, we learn. We forget about our class features all the time.
So after a brief rest, as you all start to kind of stand up and stretch your limbs and everything, and Suzanne is still doing her best to shelter the fire, if you want to even call it a fire. But I imagine it was probably comical having all of you crowded very close to this little torch.
And that's when Suffolk attacks stabs us in the back repeatedly.
But Valen says to you, Varian, as she's shivering, like her teeth are chattering, and she says, "So statistically, what do you think are our odds of survival here?"
I guess it depends on who you look at. You know, if you're an older person who has trouble getting around and can't really climb, you're probably not looking great. But if, you know, you're a younger person, athletic, non-smoker, you could, I'd say, that's 80-20.
And she
Wait,
said,
are you saying I am at risk here?
Rorgar, listen. I don't know what happened to you, but you make dad noises every time you get in and out of chairs now. You grunt constantly. something's going on. The time has passed for you.
Yes, I know. The last time I looked in the mirror, I noticed my nose hairs were very long.
And the ear hairs. The ear hairs are quite disgusting.
It is terrifying.
We'll get you better, buddy. We're gonna make it better.
Villain, you should be fine.
Yeah, Valin, you're a champion.
Valin says, if you said the old ones are the ones to worry about, I should be fine because you as an elf are much older than me, correct? And if I can remember correctly, I made it to the top while a little sick, and I think you almost didn't, so I should be fine.
Well, if we could have all been lucky enough to get dragged up in a sack on the hip of a giant guardian, we could have all been so lucky. But you'll be fine, Valin. Don't worry about it.
And she says, well, I guess I will take that vote of confidence for how it was given.
Did Ollie fly to the top, or did Ollie just accept being shoved into the bag as well?
I think Ollie just got shoved in the bag too.
Fair enough.
Ollie doesn't actually like the cold very much, even though she is a white owl. Yeah, so as you guys have kind of recovered, are you going to head towards those lights, or are you going to go somewhere else?
Well, what's the decision, everyone? Venture a possible confrontation with hostiles at those lights, or do we continue on through this pool?
Rurgar, you said that Suzanne smelled something weird?
Do we smell anything? Or do I get the impression that Suzanne meant the bird things we fought?
Yeah, you get the impression that it was probably the pelotons that Suzanne smelled.
Okay, I was worried that it was like, I smell cannibals.
They were trying to eat our hearts, so... Atlas, do you know which direction we should be heading in?
And Atlas says, my friends, this is all I know. I only know how to get to the glacier at this point. Beyond here is the furthest I've ever gone.
Then I assume you'll be heading back.
And he says, I probably should. I hate to admit that fall took a little more out of me than I thought it did. If you'd like, if you mean to approach that camp, I can go with you. I can still carry my weapon.
If it is a camp that is friendly, maybe you would be of assistance in introducing us.
Indeed, I am quite. I've been told many times that I'm very charming and likable.
So then I think that's a good plan.
And if the camp is hostile, he risks his life.
That is true. It is your choice, at least if you wish to help or not. I will not begrudge you if you decide to leave. I'm sure you could be of use to your people.
And he smiles. I'm always up for a good fight. In case that turns out to be what we're going into. I didn't carry this axe for nothing.
I believe you have filled your duty to us.
But he seems to mean to follow you. He's not going back towards the edge or anything. Like seeing that this is probably the direction you're all going, he wants to follow.
It's a sign that your life may be in danger. Do not hesitate to fall back. Understood?
And Atlas kind of knocks you on the shoulder again, like he likes to do, and he says, "Don't worry, my friend. I'll leave some of them for you to kill."
He just thinks back to Atlas on his back on the bottom of the cliff, like, yes. Good. Then let's march forward. And Garden start heading out in the front.
As we make our way there, since he's a little bit worse for wear, I'm gonna pat him on the back at one point and say, "Oh, that is create or destroy water. I don't want to cast that." Um, I'm just gonna say, "You did good back there. Don't worry about falling. Get a little bit of HP. Not nearly the amount that he took, I don't think."
He actually did okay in the fall because, yeah, as Guardian reminded me, using Stone's Endurance, he shrugged off most of it, and then also I rolled very low, so he actually didn't take too much damage.
Okay, then great.
But that does help him.
Just in case we end up in trouble.
But as you're making your way across the ice, Virion, if you can give me one of those survival checks again, please, as at advantage as always. Okay. With the 13, this is a little bit probably different landscape than you've traveled on before because glaciers aren't too terribly common. And this is, as far as glaciers go, very, very large. And as Virion is leading all of you across the ice, it's if you can imagine the difficulty of climbing up a mountain tied into also the difficulty of just keeping your feet on the ice, that's also what you're all dealing with. So all of you slip a few times, you scrape your knees and stuff and your hands on just trying to catch yourself as you fall. And at one point, Virion, you're climbing a bit of a rise in the ice, and you notice there's like a huge break in the ice that falls as far as you can see into darkness, and you realize that it would be very easy to take a wrong step here and just fall into something and never be able to get out. But the lights get closer and closer, but all of you have to deal with this stumbling and falling and just having a difficult time across the ice, such that you all take 1 point of, or 1 level of exhaustion.
Ooh.
But what we'll close up tonight is I'll describe a little bit the camp that you walk into. So as you advance closer and closer, you see those lights kind of resolve into campfires, and you notice that there are several tents, like very crudely built tents, made out of some kind of animal skin that are set up around the fires themselves. You see several people emerge from the tents as you all approach, and they're wearing very rough skins and furs, even more rough than you've seen in the Tin Towns. These look to be, very crudely sewn together, and they're carrying weapons, like spears and swords and stuff. But they kind of come out of their tents very slowly and advance towards you all. Some of them are carrying bows and stuff. One of the guards in the front, you notice, looks very very skinny, very haggard, and he's kind of like hunched over. And he raises his hand as you get closer, and he says, "Stop. Before you continue, do you have business with the tribe of the Elk?"